What's going on? How y'all doing? So the video is gonna be about racial reform in schools. Yeah, yeah. I was watching CNN. I saw some turkey on there talking about that his 17th generational grandpapa shouldn't be an impact on his kids going to school today. I said, BS. Turkey, yeah, it all counts. Do you spend money in America? Do you use money that have George Washington on it? Oh, so you can spend money with George Washington, but you can't have your kids learn about George Washington Carver, huh? Oh, you can spend money on Abraham Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson, especially Thomas Jefferson, but you don't want to hear about Shirley Hemmings and the offshoot and the offspring of the kids. Don't want to hear that, huh? You want to whitewash school. That's the problem with this racist country anyway, and especially with the school system. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, I ain't learned hardly nothing in no school. I learned most of my stuff about black history listening to KRS-One, Rakim, Gil Scott-Heron. Okay? Telling it like it is. Stevie Wonder. I can go on. Telling you old records that told something. You're going to learn about no Benjamin Banneker, and you're not going to learn about the slaves who put together the White House. You're not learning nothing. They're not teaching you those kind of informations in these general schools. These schools will tell you about Jews and Anne Franks and everything. They won't tell you. It's funny. They play roots in school, but they won't tell you the impact. They won't tell you about Young Kunta Kinte. They won't tell you the impact of how it impacts through the system, you see. And that is important. When you're misguided, you're not being led where you have a level playing field. You go in to see a history book and you learn about Cypress Attucks being the first black person to die at the Boston Tea Party, but they're not telling you impact. Dred Scott, 3/4 human. They're not telling you historical. Adam Clayton Powell, the full depths of the Black Panther Party. While you go to school in the morning and you have breakfast at school, how did it come to pass? The Black Panther Party. They need to tell the truth. They need to have historical impact to give you some depth. Constitution. Understand how Jackie Robinson broke the color line in baseball in 1947. Before there was Civil Rights Act put in place. Brown versus Board of Education. Understand about Thurgood Marshall. Need to have these things and need to understand. You hear people talking about, well, we don't want to. They want it to be whitewashed because it's comfortable. It's like laying in a dirty diaper. It's comfortable. You roll over in it. You feel okay. Just don't change it. It smells. It stinks. But if we open up the air, we open the window, we spray some Renews it, maybe the stink will go away. That's how racism and institutionalized systematic racism has been allowed to infiltrate. And if your great-great-grandparent benefited off of it, you're benefit off of it in a form of capacity. Because we talk racial profiling, we talking what goes on with the police to the classroom, it is illustrated right there. How is it that black folks only get 1 month out the year for black history, even though they put this country together? And a lot of this country was bought off the blood, sweat, and tears of black folks. How does 1 month constitute that? That's institutional systematic racism at the worst. If you're African-American black person born bled in America, you constitute being talked about every day in a school year. So don't give me this, oh, well, that was then. Well, then put that money away. Because all them dead presidents were slave owners. The biggest one was the number one, George Washington. The whole state is named after him. Are they going to cancel George Washington? Are they going to cancel Abraham Lincoln? Are they going to cancel Thomas Jefferson? You see. And you don't need to be entertained with no whack Broadway Hamilton musical to glorify that. Yeah, I went there. Because I don't need no falsification or hip-hop-defy to try to take over the sting and the pain when it is real. It is very real. And it need to be discussed. And you need to burn the books up and put some color in these history books. Let's be realistic. Aside from math, PE, any electives, and English, everything else can get flipped. So you can be having more black classes, more about history, because you need to tell the truth. It's been whitewashed for way, way too long. And I guess the same people that are comfortable downplaying it, guess didn't understand that school busing and everything happened through the 60s to the 70s. But they don't want to talk about that. It's convenient. It's convenient to ignore the realities that are there. Please hit the like, subscribe. I welcome thoughts and comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another, and it's time to end the whitewashing in school. These hating turkeys who want to act like, well, that was then, this is now, they lying, they've been lying, and they settle. Go along, get along, and you just kumbayaing to tap dance to that. But it's a new day, and it ain't over. And karma is coming. The truth is gonna set it free. If you're about the truth, you look and you see black folks in America born and bred. Why only 1 month? And why don't you know more about the history of what their contributions are? George Washington Carver was a more dignified man than George Washington. Because anybody who can condone some of these racist slave-owning presidents who benefited off the misery and profit off of it, and you condone that, but you'd rather be taught about slave master presidents and whitewashing it and living that lie than to be told about black folks who overcame. That speaks more about the ignorance that keeps on passing. And that's a pandemic. There is no cure for it because they don't want it. I'm out.